Pay me, pay me, pay me my silver now. Pay me or go to jail. Pay me my silver now.
Good morning, Bix Weir, roadrunner.com with your morning hornets. These your sip of chocolate coffee. So yesterday I had to put the video I had done for the Morning Hornet Z's onto the private road because I was discussing things that are not allowed to be talked about at YouTube. Things like child trafficking and things like that. So go check it out. Yeah. Go see the Sound of Freedom. My God, go see the Sound of Freedom as fast as you can and bring as many people as you can. Crazy. But check out the private road posting. Lots going on right now. Just got the Commitment of Traders report, which I'll go into. First of all, great discussion. Andy Schectman over at was with Dunnigan at Liberty and Finance, talking about Andy's long-held notion that it would be the BRICS countries that will destroy the that are buying up all the gold. And we have heard many people say in August they're going to introduce a new gold currency. Whether or not they do or not doesn't really matter. Nobody would trust each other. But it does mean that you'll have a handful of countries deciding finally once and for all that the unbacked fiat system has to be maneuvered around. And that's something that really needs to be thought about. And you're way past when you should have been prepared. As an individual, countries are doing this. It's going to happen. The question is, will it happen before or after the destruction of the old system, which also has to happen? So everybody's going to have to go on a gold standard. At the same time, everybody's going to have to crash the old system, destroying the checking account, savings account, pension. People with pensions are fucked. You just won't get it. There'll be no pension. So yeah, if you rely on that, take a lump sum and buy as much silver. That is not financial advice, but that's what I did, and that's what I would do if I was knowledgeable in this area. Okay, check out the discussion at Liberty Finance. Andy Schectman doing a couple victory laps, saying, "Hey, how long have I been saying that they've classified gold as a tier 1 asset? So every country around the planet is going to print money to buy gold, and that's what they're doing." But I do want to talk about what happened last week. Last week, first of all, let me give you a snippet from what I was talking about last week on the road to Ruta. This was posted last Saturday, right when... so the week in trading for the Commitment of Traders report goes from Wednesday to Tuesday. Wednesday to Tuesday. And I was talking about, oh shit, something's going on. Check this out. This is 1 week ago. I think that will continue. This is the end game for silver rigging. The big commercials who usually short by now are not shorting yet. So we will see. There's a little bump at $25, as you can tell. It bumped up against it a couple of times. I don't think 25 is a big hurdle. Again, we are way past the moving averages. So the tech funds are in the buy mode. The question is, who's going to sell it to them? Are people going to get rid of their longs to sell it to them, or are they going to? Are the commercials going to institute new shorts to slow the price down? So that was the question, right? What's going to happen? And from today's Commitment of Traders report, again, we had massive bump in volume and price, and it's the same old game. Look, the new Commitment of Traders report came out for 1 week, and look, it's right here. So if you add these and these, the swap dealers and the merchant producers, they added, drumroll please, about 22,000 contracts, 110 million ounces of silver shorts were put on in 5 days. I think that's a record for the insanity of silver. It's definitely a record for the CFTC doing their job. Imagine if people had bought, and it was a retail, because look, all the managed money we're buying right here. 22,000 contracts, 110 million ounces. So that's what happened. Managed money bought this massive amount of silver. Had the commercials not sold those silver contracts to them, it would have been lights out for the manipulation. The price of silver would have gone over $50 in a blink of an eye. Remember, without the commercials doing this sale of 110 million ounces, and it's like the top, I don't know if it's the top 4 or the top 8. I think I have an inkling it's going to be the top 8. It could be that the top 4 take their old role and do that. Ted Butler's coming out with his take on it today. I'm sure he's going to have great information because he lives and breathes this report. But it's clear, it should be obvious to people at CFTC, the regulators. Are you kidding me? They literally are assisting in the manipulation of the price of silver. So if you want to know why silver didn't blow up with all that excitement, it's right here. Now the commercials are massively short, what are they going to do? What do they always do? Slam the prices down below the moving averages and then cover their shorts. But it's not working as well as it used to work. So are they in a trap? Could be. I think the biggest of all of the riggers, JP Morgan Chase, is in the process of being taken down. You take down JP Morgan, nothing's worth anything anymore in the electronic financial system. Largest bank in the world, and that doesn't matter that it has $3.2 trillion in assets, truthfully. That's a little pimple on the butt of the derivative market, which they are the largest U.S. bank involved with the derivatives, 60 trillion at this moment in derivatives. So all it takes is one. Remember, the good guys want to blame the bad guys. Why not blame the bad guy pedophile bank of JP Morgan Chase? So keep an eye on that. But some other plucker on the commercial side went short massively. Same old, same old. So I'm sure everybody who says Bix will never change, this will never change. I'm like, it's changing. I'm sure you're going to get a good kick out of this to see that, well, at least this week it didn't change. Because 110 million ounces came out of nowhere to greatly influence. And the price of silver barely did anything. I mean, literally, they're shorting all up. Now they have to get rid of their short side. They got to slam it down. If you look at the moving averages, you can see where they're aiming. They're aiming for the, 50 days at 23.55, 100 days at 23.74, and 200 day is 22.92. So they're gunning for $23 to get it under there. So it's in this range that they short. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I think they're using the same old game, and everybody can see through it, and everybody and their mother is going to buy when it goes under these moving averages on the COMEX. People aren't dumb. They learn from the mistakes sometimes. Anyway, so yeah, really interesting COT report. And again, on JP Morgan, another great article from Wall Street on Parade. JP Morgan Chase has bled $230 billion in deposits since the first quarter of 2022, with 6 declines of 5 in the last 6 quarters. Jamie Dimon they're going to take him out. They're going to tape out JP Morgan. Look at this. Through 1Q 2023, JP Morgan Chase has bled deposits in 4 of the past 5 quarters. You're going to see deposits bleeding again. Well, what happened to that old, hey, all the regional banks are going out of business, so everybody jump into the big banks because they will never let a big bank fail? That's bullshit. They want the big bank to fail. They don't want the regional banks to be blamed for what the big banks have done. So yes, there is money bleeding out of JP Morgan's ears, which is a wonderful thing. Get as far away as you can if you have your money in JP Morgan or any of the big banks. Then again, if a big bank goes, so does your local bank. So get your money out of the system altogether. And here's one of the reasons that the banking crisis is about to rear its ugly head again. It's commercial real estate. Commercial real estate storm. Over $800 billion in office space in 9 cities could become obsolete by 2030. These office buildings are, San Francisco's already talking to them about, okay, right now they're putting up the homeless in the fancy hotels in San Francisco because nobody wants to go to San Francisco anymore. They can set up like a dystopian type of housing unit in the Bank of America building. I used to work in the Bank of America building down there, downtown San Francisco. I think it's 555 California. It used to be their headquarters. I don't know if it's still their headquarters, but I believe it is. It's this big black building, a massive high rise. They're going to turn that into a homeless shelter because what does San Francisco have the most of? Criminals, homeless, drug dealers, you name it, and criminal politicians. A better idea would be turn these sky rises into jails and throw the politicians into those jails. That would be politicians and bankers into the jails that were once sky rises. So yeah, everybody should know by now that the retail or the commercial real estate market is dead. The retail real estate market will die. When the banks can't lend money to buy a house, what's your house worth? It's going to drop. I think the prices of housing is going to drop massively, 90%. And I know a lot of people say, "No way, Bix, you've been saying that forever." What I've been saying is that housing prices will continue to go up as long as there's cheap money. Now there's no cheap money. Very few houses are trading hands. And oh, by the way, what if there's no bank money? As in no bank could pay. Do you have cash to pay for your house? You might, actually. You might have cash to pay for the house because the house is going to go down 90%. If you have a mortgage, I don't know what to tell you. Well, when the banks go, your mortgage is gone. They can't foreclose on every entity in the United States because it wouldn't even be enough to keep the banks afloat. So, yeah, it's very complicated. But I do think that the actual transaction prices for houses are going to drop by 90% of where they are right now. It's a depreciating asset. The only reason it was appreciating is they were giving out free money to buy houses. It's all in the Road to Ruder theory. It's all in Alan Greenspan's thesis when he got his doctorate degree that has not been released. I guarantee you, right on the cover, it says The Road to Ruda. That's what he named his thesis that nobody's allowed to look at. Now, I think Forbes got a quick look at it and talked about the housing market crash. It was all in his paper. What we've been experiencing for the past 50 years, Alan Greenspan wrote in his dissertation. This is exactly what's going to go on. And he was the guy who created the electronic financial system, which, oh, by the way, the FedNow is live. Now, a lot of people say, oh my God, it's a CBDC. No, it's not a CBDC. CBDCs are a digital currency with blockchain and all that. So this has nothing to do with blockchain. What it does, a lot of people saying, yeah, but it paves the way for a CBDC. Well, if it does, I don't know if it's a good or bad thing. Yes, there is the fact that they can cut everybody off. But what would you rather have? The ability for the government, your government that theoretically you get to elect, cut everybody off, or the bank who's wobbling, they can cut, any bank can cut you off right now and track all your payments and everything you do. If you touch the banking system at all, it's very easy to track. So my take, and it's just something we got to watch. Now, see, FedNow is just a ledger. It's not a blockchain that the Fed is holding for all 35 banks that are participating in it right now to do instant transfers. It's no big deal. They kind of do it already, except the Fed wasn't the one coordinating it. It was one bank trading with another bank and vice versa, cashing checks and all that stuff, right? Now the Fed jumps into the middle of it. Why are they doing that? Well, right now it's just for the commercial banks, but could it be that the Fed knows what's about to go down and wanted something in place so they could both distribute and keep track of the new monetary system, the gold-backed system, the silver-backed system, a silver and gold constitutional money? We would need something like a FedNow service. Otherwise, nobody knows who's got, you'd have to actually walk around with the coins, and I don't think that'll work. So is the Fed preparing for the destruction of the banking system so that once the banks crash and eat their own, as they always do, the Fed is sitting there with this FedNow transfer system, and they're not dealing with the banks anymore. All of a sudden, they're dealing with the individual citizens of the United States of America. And oh, by the way, it is a way for them to distribute the new money, the new gold, the new silver coinage to the people. And if we're smart, we'll take it on our own possession, or at the very least, because every single one of these coins can be tracked today. Honeywell technology, they can look at the DNA of the metal. If you zoom in close enough, every single silver eagle and gold eagle, every single coin has a different DNA. And it's not like the molecular DNA, but you can get down so far, and Honeywell has invented an anti-coring counterfeiting technology that literally identifies each coin and put that on a ledger and then link it to FedNow, and all of a sudden you have a system to transact individual to individual without banks, with gold and silver. Is that part of that? Yeah, it's kind of obvious to me. But is FedNow, does it have the potential to turn into a part of the CBDC? It does, but you wouldn't need it. With a CBDC, you'd have the instant transfers because you're on a blockchain. And it'll most likely be proof of stake. Now, that's what CBDs aren't scary. For example, if it's open source software, if it's just like Bitcoin, limited amount of coins, all that stuff, with private wallets. I'm leaving aside the conversation with Reggie Middleton that Reggie in the United States, Reggie has the patent on CBDCs. He's got the patent on Lightning Network from Bitcoin. Sorry, he filed the patent and the U.S. government agreed to it. So they're going to have to get permission from Reggie Middleton, like Cliff's High Data had the U.S. government doing down the line. Really interesting stuff, though. Here's the other thing. The Biden administration is saying everything's fine. Oh, this is the greatest recovery ever. It's such ridiculous. I mean, everything that comes out of their mouth. But as we see, U.S. corporate debt defaults in 2023, the first half of this year, there's more corporate debt defaults than the entire of last year. It is crashing. It is imploding. We are going to see massive losses for the banks in the next 2 months. So you got a warning. Silicon Valley Bank people didn't get a warning, and all of a sudden, you had to go to the Fed to bail them out. Or Oprah Winfrey would have lost, $100 billion, $100 million. And all the tech giants would have lost billions of dollars. Well, you should have let them go, Janet Yellen and FDIC. Now nobody trusts them. You can't let a bank fail now and not bail out every single person. Now, foreign depositors were not reimbursed, by the way. So if you're a foreign depositor and you're invested or you put your money with a U.S. bank, are you kidding me? After what they did not reimburse any foreign deposit holders, supposedly. Keep that in mind. All right. Yeah, that's where we are. Lots going down. I might do another one today, probably tomorrow, about Ted's analysis. Ted Butler, butlerresearch.com. Go check it out. If you want to know about the COT reports right here, Commitment of Traders, it looks to me like 110 million ounces were bought by managed money right in here and then sold by the commercials. Same old, except it happened. This would usually take a few months to do. This happened in a span of mostly just 3 days, but 5 days is this report. But it was mostly just the first 3 days. So, very interesting times on the COMEX. Ted Butler's jumping up and down, but what are they going to do? What's Rustin Bennett going to do? They've rigged this far. The old silver rig is running out of time, as we saw with B of A delivering, and I talked about that in the private road post yesterday. B of A delivered another 1 million ounces yesterday, bought on the same day and took delivery on the same day, and that's happening every single day now. So there is a storm a-coming. Go to roadtoruta.com. We are currently giving out the silver Ruta coins with every private road subscription, a 1-year subscription. You get access to all the private road stuff, and there's just so much stuff. In the member area at the private road, Miss Moonstone and her predictions are literally, they're coming true as we speak. Putin, you name it, we got it. AI. Amazing discussion with the head of the Silver Eagle program at the U.S. Mint, where he admits to 5 things that the U.S. government is doing illegal with the Silver Eagle program. And he says, there's nothing I can do about it. They just tell me what to do. Great guy, Jack Sermon. So go check that out. RoadToRuda.com. Hit subscribe today, and we'll send you the Ruda coin, the coolest coin ever made. It's Bix Weir. I'll talk to you later.